What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up?
Back to life.
Back to reality.
No one said anything. Thought we were gonna keep going. Yeah.
That's all right.
So earlier today, Crystal has shared and I don't mean to be repetitive about this whole W.A.P thing, because I'm about so tired of talking about W.A.P. God damn it. But Crystal posted a status in
Meet us in the den.
Meet us in the den on Facebook. If you're not a part of it, y'all, reach out to us. We'll definitely add you to the group. But basically, the point of the post was that the song and music like that should be banned, basically because it's teaching our kids how to be hoes, how to be
little wops.
Yeah, basically.
Wait a minute,
Baby
little
wops.
Wait,
Little wops.
not
Baby wops.
Oh,
I mean, that's basically what the post was saying.
how to be little wops.
Yeah.
She said how to be little wops.
W.A.P Juniors.
Okay. And I'm pretty sure we all agreed on the episode that we did, the prequel, that music isn't teaching our kids anything.
No.
So.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
It shouldn't be the basic.
It should, right, exactly. You should
know
know a couple of songs.
It influences them, but it's not teaching.
Your parenthood should overpower
most
of what they see.
Now, speaking of posts as well, that was just one of them. Another post that I had came across basically said, just because you're a good provider, a house and home and a food, doesn't mean that that doesn't make you
parent.
Yes.
True.
Overall, because there's more to being a parent just than, providing the basic home, shelter, whoop-de-whoop.
I can understand why some parents be like, fuck it. When you are a good parent, like you a good parent, you be tired.
Exhausted.
I see people be like, look, I don't mind being a mom every day.
I can't call in.
No,
I can't call in.
I mean, well, kind of, sort of. You call your granny.
kind of, sort of.
Yeah, you can drop them off at granny house, auntie house. That's like your
But
calling.
don't that time go by so fast?
Yeah, but that's your calling.
Wait, hold on, but your vacation time get used up. Your parents be like, you done had,
or they clock you. They be like, Mom, can you get them this weekend? It was like, my mama had them. What they got to do with you, though? Why you can't keep them this weekend? What your mama didn't got nothing to do with you.
So it sounds like we be needing a break sometimes.
Definitely.
Definitely need a break.
A lot of times.
And that doesn't make you a bad parent.
No.
That definitely doesn't make you a bad parent. But I do have a question. So, as far as teaching our kids and instilling our kids, a lot of times people use the excuse for the things that we lack, the ways that we lack. We say shit like, well, my mama didn't teach me that. Or, well, I didn't get that growing up. Or, you know what I'm saying? That type of rhetoric when it comes to parenting. So when do y'all feel like we have to stop using our own upbringing as an excuse as to the ways that we lack in our own parenting?
As soon as you realize it's wrong.
Yeah.
Because, I learned mine at an early age coming up. And for me, I knew it was wrong because I knew I was lacking in what I needed from my parents. So I was scared and I had fear instilled in me that I wasn't going to do that when I became a parent as an adult. So I did different.
You felt yourself lacking just prior to you becoming a parent. You noticed the things that you lacked from your parents.
From my parents.
And you feel like there is nothing right now that you feel like, you know what I'm saying, that you could or get better at, and it equates or alludes directly back to your childhood?
Oh, absolutely. There are things that automatically I do because of what I seen growing up, but there's things that I try to recognize and change for my child or for my children. When I seen that, maybe I might be doing something repetitive that my mama do. You look at yourself in the mirror when you're looking at your parents, honestly. So, yeah.
So when y'all notice stuff like that, do you make it a point to, talk to your kids about it? Like an adult? I guess it depends on the age. Sit them down and...
Yeah, I mean, because, one of the things for me when I was growing up, it was more so, no is no. I don't want to say I didn't have a voice, but I didn't have a voice. But now I kind of raise my child or my children to think that, or to know that, hey, when I say no, this is the reason why I said no. But we've been raised to say no, and that's what I said.
We got question. If you ask the question, you're going to get slapped in the
mouth.
Yeah.
But now I don't do that. But my childhood way, I started off saying no. I said no. But then I was like, no, you got to stop doing that. You got to explain to them why you're saying no so they can know why.
Exactly.
Versus just, she said no, so it's no.
I understand that. I think mine was kind of the opposite. I don't want to say I was similar. It was like that because it's my sister.
FYI.
Yeah, I moved. Younger with my daddy. But yeah, so I experienced, we were in the same household for some time. But when I did, man.
My bad.
Man.
Anyways, for me, I noticed that a big part of my childhood, I didn't really get any type of communication from anybody. So I've always been very mute. Like, I don't really say nothing. For a long time, I was very, passive aggressive. Yeah. So I would hold things in. So now when it comes to I'm slowly but surely, like, teaching myself how to get out of that. But when it comes to my kids, like you, outside of explaining to them no, I let them speak their minds. But when it gets to you being too outspoken. Yeah, then I gotta show, okay, bring it down. But if you feeling some type of way, I try to drill into them. If you're feeling some type of way, say that. Yeah. Say how you feel. There's nothing wrong with expressing how you feel, because I don't want them to feel how I felt just younger, just having, can't say shit, don't say shit, can't say shit, nobody say it too.
Because I grew up as a mute as well, right? Just because my mom, what I say goes, period. Right. But as I got older, I want to say around high school, I found myself, and I liked my voice. I liked my opinion. I liked how it made me feel. And also, I wanted to make sure that when I had children, that it was already instilled with me. So naturally it came, they was naturally able to see me and how I move. But my son a little too outspoken. And he's not outspoken to the point where he's like disrespectful with it, but he's going to say what's on his mind. And it makes sense. But I be like, damn, you don't never shut up. You don't never shut up.
But you want him to have that, though.
I do. I love it. But sometimes.
Yeah.
So can I kind of like.
Ain't nothing wrong with your son. He just very outspoken.
He gonna try you and be outspoken. He gonna be like,
yeah. And you can't even argue. Like, when do you tell your child, like, okay, so I'll do something, right? And I'd be like, damn. Do it again. I shouldn't do it. But he see everything. So he'd be like, well, you did it like that last time. Why would you do it like this time? You didn't learn from last time. First of all, how you gonna tell me what I'm supposed to? Who's the parent over here? But what he said made sense. So I can't even scold him. Like, all right, you got that one. You got that one good.
That's a prime example of how we can learn from it. That's our kids can teach us kids. You know what
our kids can teach us as well.
Yes.
But to kind of go off of your question too, though, Shan, I do feel that some parents use it as an excuse. It's a clutch for them to say, oh, well, that's how my mama taught me, so that's just what I know. That's what I do. So they don't have to, or they use it as a reason to run from the truth of everything, in my opinion.
Do you think it's because it's easier for them to stick to what was done to them than to try to figure out a way in raising their own children? Because I feel like some parents are just lazy.
That's true.
They're just lazy. They don't want to know better. Because they just want to think about themselves.
Easier. I think some just really... Personally, I know some parents that are really hard on their kids. I think they just really mentally messed up. Like, it's basically like using a reference as being a slave. A lot of us still trying to get out of that slave mentality. So you have a parent that's teaching you something. You look up to this parent. Your parent is your everything. So you grow up, you go to the world, and you experience different things, and you're trying to be like the rest of the society of how you're supposed to be, but you was raised this way. So I think it's more like a mental. They can't get out of it. Everybody's not strong.
That's true. If you have people, though, that feel like not even just the ones that are like not mentally fucked up. That's what I was going to say, but I didn't want to say that, but I said it anyways. Okay. But
we respect your transparency.
Okay. But yeah, the people who are struggling mentally when it comes to parenting their kids, what are some ways that y'all feel like a person can just just look at yourself, even if you feel like you're doing everything right, because I feel like everybody should take a one, even outside of parenting, but we talking about parenting. Yeah. Just take a step and just soak it all in and just reflect on yourself as a parent to say, okay, I'm doing this, am I doing this, but is there anything that I can do better? Like, how are some ways do you guys do that?
One thing I would say I do is who I surround myself with. So, just because you're raised a certain way, your friends are raised in different ways too. So you can learn from them and their parenting skills too. Not saying that they're perfect, but there are things and pieces that you can take from your friends and how they treat their kids and apply it. So that will help you be more open with your children. Because I know me, like, I used to be like, Ariana, I said, shut up. I said, shut up. All right, shut up. Pop.
And Ari be having some valuable things to say. She's very smart.
She has valuable things, but my daughter is going through a phase of lying too, so I'm kind of having to differentiate her lying from her speaking her mind for, hey, let me let you know that I'm still your mama type stuff. So it's kind of trying to find that balance. But just being around good people and having good friends who's going to tell you also, who'll step up and say, well, Sarah, maybe if you looked at it this way, your child might do it this way. Yeah. Or, well, let me talk to her. Having a friend step in, too, to help you with your children is okay. Having that. So.
I agree. Yeah.
So just being open-minded. Mm-hmm. I agree, Sarah. Just being open.
To
and
advice.
To advice and other people's opinion. But not saying you have to. Me, personally, I would ask them for myself, and then I want to talk to my child about it. I would want, granted, I know we have our friends and family that's going to talk to our children, but for instance, what is it called? Birds and bees? Mm-hmm.
Butterflies and the bees.
Butterflies and the bees. Me personally.
Y'all going to change it? Y'all just going to change it?
I said, it's the birds.
I thought it was birds.
It is birds.
Oh,
birds
and
the bees. I was reading butterflies.
Y'all. Okay, maybe they about to explain some new shit.
That's something new.
I'm going to let you say it.
I said birds and the bees, but I had to look over it on the paper.
I thought we was on some new shit.
Right.
It's that Generation X talk.
Hello.
All right.
Yes, birds and the bees. I would feel more comfortable with talking to my child about it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I just want to have that intimate moment because I want my child to be able to come to me one-on-one and just talk to me about it. Because at the end of the day, regardless who else is around, my mom is going to be there. Period. But that's just my opinion for me.
So, I'll wait.
Go, say
What the
it.
question was?
With your smacking self.
So,
Okay, Asmir.
question.
Answer.
How do you, so what is a boundary?
When it comes
So
to
you, birds and the bees and friends. You get what I'm saying? Because if we all have friends that we can go to, our kids are comfortable with, what is the boundary of talking to your friends, allowing your friends to talk to your kids about the birds and the bees?
For me, I would say it depends on how close, because you have some people that are really, really, really close. But even still, I would feel like I would want somebody to be like, hey, Kaylin Kalia just asked me what so was. And I'll probably, if it's like my best friend, like if it was Renee, I'm probably like, put me on speaker. And we'll talk together. Type shit.
Yeah.
So I at least want them to say something rather than just having that full-blown conversation without me there.
Just acknowledge that even though they said it to you, come to me and just say, hey, they just said this. Do you want to go talk to them right now about it? I kind of just curveball the question, but I would want to be there with you.
It also depends just on the conversation that child is coming to you about. If it's something like, how do I approach my mom, or how do I talk to her? You are my mom's this. Yeah. Then you can be like, well, that's a good if you do this, or maybe you try this, maybe your mom is more willing to listen, type stuff. Just try a different approach. So I think you can tell kids certain things too without really, going deep into.
So don't that kind of go back into your parenthood of how you're raising your child? Because wouldn't your child feel more comfortable coming to you?
So that should probably tell you.
So where would you lack as a parent that your child is reaching out to your friends versus being comfortable to reach out to you about how they feel and what, you know what I'm saying?
And asking those
questions.
So we have to check ourselves at that point.
Yeah, that's one of those things where you probably would have to check yourself and be like, okay, what the fuck am I?
No, for real.
Talk to me, because I know my daddy used to tell me all the time, honey, you can tell me anything. You can tell me. He said, I hear you.
Let me tell you, my mama told me.
But it's not, just because you say, it's like they don't create that environment.
Did y'all have the birds and the bees conversation? Because I didn't have that with my mom.
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
I didn't. I did. You did? Very, very vaguely. But you know what, though? When I was, because I lost my, I'm going to be real transparent. When I was 14, 15, I was in middle school. I was in 8th grade. I lost my virginity, when I was in 8th grade. And it was more so kind of like a talk me into it kind of situation. It wasn't just that I wanted
like most
to have
girls
sex.
that age. I know.
Yeah, I was kind of talked into it.
Yeah.
So when it happened, the assistant principal
was
actually the person that brought my daddy into that office and made me tell my daddy that I lost my virginity. And at that age, it's kind of.
But how did the assistant principal?
It's like at that age, you kind of didn't know, but for a long time, like even as I got older, I felt some type of way about my daddy. Like, why would you not check her? Like, how did she even feel comfortable enough to bring my daddy into the office? Mind you, it was kind of like she's supposed to be like my mentor, but no, she got to hear my daddy.
Yeah, I got you.
But even still, I feel like as a parent, that would have made me feel some type of way.
It's different if she would have just went to him and told him, and then be like, "Hey, you might want to talk to her."
You were still talking too much, even if I see what you saying.
So let me ask you this, because was she the lady in his life? Was she the lady in his life at the time? No. Okay.
You had a
I was just gonna say if she was the lady. Playing somewhat of a role,
but that's still not her place. She should have made you feel comfortable enough to talk to your dad.
So again, he's a male. So some women, just thinking on a different aspect, you know what I'm saying? He's a male raising a girl. Sometimes it's instilled in us as women to be like, okay, I see this in this young girl, and I want to mentor her. Let me bring them both in here. Maybe she can't. I mean,
so that's
just how some people think.
That's on both sides. So maybe to give some advice to women and men, when it comes to women and you see a man raising their daughter by themselves, rather than protruding yourself in their business, you might come to him directly and just prompt questions like, have you talked to her about so-and-so?
Probe versus being like, this is what wait a minute.
When it comes to fathers out there on your side, just because a woman is in your face about your child doesn't mean they're doing it because they have their best interest.
Exactly.
True, but also at the same time, you don't know if they had bedroom talk. And that may have been something he may express.
Pillow talking about me?
That, hey, I got a girl. I mean, people do it.
No, that's true.
About their daughter and them being fathers and not knowing how to handle. I had a friend who didn't know nothing about his daughter starting her period. She started her period this past summer, and I was like, all right, so this is what you do.
I think more so, I feel like she shouldn't have intruded because she don't know when you was going to actually do it. You know what I'm saying? She didn't give you, that wasn't her place. His woman,
it happened on Friday,
the principal, anybody.
Monday. I mean, I told him on Monday, and I didn't even tell her. It got around the school.
But you know what? That's true. Because your daddy your daddy is the one who told my mama that I was a lesbian when I wasn't ready to tell her. No, take that back. Your daddy had his side girl tell my mama that I was a lesbian.
Damn.
So
another one. Yes. Is this the assistant principal?
No.
Get out of my daddy.
No.
I'm not even talking about my daddy. I'm just talking about the whole situation because I love you, but
right. So what to what y'all are saying? Yes, I get there's pillow talks, but
there's boundaries.
I feel like there's boundaries.
Exactly.
And I feel like he regardless of what they was doing, he should have took it to my mom and had her come talk to me about it.
First of all, the side
That's the
chick, how the fuck
communication.
they even? First of all.
Y'all gonna stop playing my mama close. Y'all stop playing my mama.
Anyways, but yeah, there's boundaries.
Yes, and then that's what I'm saying. It's communication.
Go ahead,
Sade, why you got your hand?
Are y'all speaking from a teenage mindset? Are you speaking from a parent mindset?
Both.
I was speaking from a
I have been in
parent.
that situation. In a room
I was
with
speaking
from a parent.
From a principal, a teenager,
I'm from both.
and me and Ron.
I'm definitely from both.
I don't give a dang what this girl going through. We need to know. So we're not sensitive to the fact.
So you not saying that she shouldn't have told him or my mom, yes, but it wasn't your place for the teacher to come tell you. I mean, for you to tell. How can I say it? With me in the front of the teacher. Yeah, we should have told it in our comfort of our own home.
I guess it's not what you do, but how you do it.
Yes.
So she basically brought you in and told him like, "Hey, she's no longer a virgin," in front of you, y'all together, like out of her mouth, like that.
No, it was like she was being a mediator. Like she brought my daddy in, and she was like, "So go ahead, Chantel. You wanna tell your daddy what happened over the weekend?" Like, I didn't even get it.
First of all, how? I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna have to talk about this later.
At this point, it's being
because would you have told him, and
but
now she's trying to protect you?
I went through that yet, and in that moment, you don't give it.
Sade, I was speaking from a. So I'm only speaking I'm speaking from a parent standpoint because I can't speak from a teenager standpoint. I let you have that because I didn't. I can relate, so I'm speaking more for a parent. And I would so much more rather hear it from my child than to hear it from anybody, even if it's from an adult or another child. But I think it's also depending on, like I said, how you're raising your child.
I was more so saying it's okay for the counselor to tell my parent, but allow my parent to address me in our own household. I don't feel like it was the need of.
I agree.
A 3-person conversation.
I get what you're saying. It wasn't. I get what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
Because that's why I was saying
question?
some kids are not going to come to you and tell you. They're not. Like, I had a situation with somebody who's really close to me, and she came to me and was like, all right, if I tell this parent, I don't know if I could tell this parent too. Mm-hmm. So can you help me on how I tell the parent? She told me because she was more comfortable. Mm-hmm. I said, I'm not going to say anything to your parents, but I'm going to give you a month to figure out what you're going to do so you can't tell your parents. Mm-hmm. And then that's what the boundary I set with her. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you figured it out yet? So she knew I was on it. Mm-hmm. She waited to the last minute, but she finally did it. And then when she seen it, she was like, dang, it worked out. I should have just went ahead and told them. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah. But, so it just depends. Like, each person, each child, everybody's different.
It depends on the child.
That was from a parent standpoint.
Oh, it depends on the Okay. It depends on the child.
It definitely depends on the child.
It depends on the household.
The household as a whole. The parent, the child.
Let me tell you.
Had I been a child that was getting beat on, it ain't no telling, you know what I'm saying? What might have happened to me
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
No matter, I got some, so you got peaches in the house and you got an apple. It's peaches is rocking like this, and you got that one that's an apple that was born from the same tree. Mm-hmm. They're not gonna rock the same. So it depends on the child. No matter how you raise your children, your child is still a human being. They're gonna be who they want to be. So you do gotta go according to that child.
To that child.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
And that's right. To your point, we're talking about the birds and the bees, but what happens when we're talking about, of a child being beat or your child being bullied or, things to that? Are you just going to automatically...
So if you are going to play that position, make sure you're taking make sure you're doing it with the right intent.
Exactly. Behind it.
Correct. You're not just forcing yourself in that type of situation with somebody else's child because you don't know. Especially if you don't know
your place, know your role.
Yeah.
Just because, okay, so if I'm friends with, if I got, we homegirls, right? Mm-hmm. And now we ain't homegirls no more. But you and my daughter still got a relationship. So you come to me, my daughter comes to me, no, you come to me about something my daughter told you, I'm instantly being, I'm not doing you. Oh, so you telling her what you got going on here? So you got to really depend. I'm just giving this a scenario.
Wait. But at the same time, you allowed that relationship to stand still.
You can't, that's one thing that I don't agree with is breaking up as a friendship and your children have their relationship and then I try to deter that relationship.
Right. So hear me out. So because you allowed it to stand, isn't she supposed to come? You're going to be mad that she went to her, yes. Mm-hmm. But isn't she right to come to you and tell you what your child said in them having that bond in that relationship? You can't really be mad if you think about it. Because you allowed it to still go.
Stay tuned, because I think we got a question like that. We can flip it to the next one, because this episode, pretty much the question is, if you break up with somebody.
Oh, yeah, okay. Pause. I'm going to wait on your answer.
Okay.
All right. Hold on. Okay, what was we get off topic? You already know. It's getting good, y'all.
Make sure y'all stay tuned for the next episode, because we're going to piggyback off of
She was getting good.
That in particular question.
Okay.
All right, well, so let's get back on topic.
Birds and the bees, butterflies and the bees, birds and the bees.
Yeah,
that. All right. We already talked about sex talk.
So let's talk about this double standard.
When it comes to girls and boys. Girls and boys. Girls and boys. I think everybody know when it comes to raising boys and girls, there's always a difference.
It's always going to be one.
There's always a difference.
As much as we don't in adult life too.
Do you think it's valid though? Like the difference is valid?
It's definitely valid.
I feel it.
It has to be valid.
Yeah.
No, not all of it.
I think it's valid, but I think the way that you treat that little girl, you should have that same strictness when it comes to your son. On that end. Not the fact you should kind of let the daughter be as loose as him. It's like you should tighten up even more on your son just as you are about your daughter.
You want him to treat how you want to be treated. So if you're allowing him to go out there and be a little loose, how you think he going to treat some of these women? You got to teach what you want.
And it start young. Like I said, I lost my virginity when I was in the 8th grade. What you said?
Me too.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so just imagine in his mind, he claimed that we lost it to each other. He lost his virginity too. But we was 14? So if he started having sex when he was 14, he didn't do nothing but just take off from there.
So with a father raising a son and a mother raising a son, what are your advice?
Oh man, I don't have a little boy, but I know there is a difference when it comes to women raising little boys and men raising.
I have
little boys and men.
Okay, so my advice is, if it's a woman raising their son, you still have to be just as tough on them as if it was a male raising their son. If they're a boy, you gotta treat them like a boy. Don't be so sensitive towards them. If they fall and hit their head, you a boy, get up.
My daddy didn't be like that. I was a little girl.
Right. But I think
I get what you're
sometimes
saying.
women are more sensitive to their sons, to where they're babying them more, and they're not allowing them to bump their head and learn, like, oh, that hurt. Let me get up and shake this off. I'm good.
Yes,
I honestly don't divide the two. I'm sitting here really, really thinking. I treat them both the same. They both fall their head. Hey, get up. I treat all of them the same. I'm sensitive with them both. They both emotional. I'm literally leveled. Like, I spoil both of them. I don't talk about her. I got 3. I don't talk about the youngest. She ain't there. Oh, she a whole she a whole pit bull out here. Y'all ain't ready for her.
Oh yeah, Harmony was at the birthday party trying to everybody up.
She so was.
Harmony was like,
Okay. But I honestly treat them equally. And it's so funny because my son, you would think that I love on him a little bit more because he's very sensitive. And my daughter, she just be in her own zone. But like we said, our kids, you could raise them the same, but they're different.
Yeah.
But I can't say. I don't know.
You got both. I don't got both. Crystal.
I only got a daughter.
Yeah.
I don't know. I treat them the same.
Yeah,
you know, I always ask because I see the difference. Even with my husband growing up, even with me and my brother growing up, there was a difference in my household between me and my brother and with the whole family. My brother will always go do certain things and people will leave me out because I was the girl. So I had to stay home.
See, my mama, Larry, Crystal, you go with Larry. Chantel, you go with Crystal.
Yeah. I remember I was about 5 years old running from the police.
But I want to also talk about the differences. I see people treat the difference between the kids because it's a girl and as far as like mothers. I see mothers love on their sons and not treat their daughters the best just because they more are sensitive on their sons but very hard
I hate seeing
on
that.
their girls. I see that all the time.
It's like a
So what makes
rivalry
you-
almost.
Let me ask you, do y'all think it's because the woman, a son's love is just like if a woman who's raised without a daddy?
You cannot, hey.
So they kind of, I'm not saying they do.
I get what you're saying, but women, you should not be looking for the love of your father, any man in your
Trying
son.
to fill the wrong void.
That is not his place to feel that.
But that's what happens. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the love that I had missed from my father, the love that my son gave me, made me feel amazing. But I treated my kids both the same.
Right.
I did. You felt it. Well, shoot, y'all fight it out. Shoot, what you gonna do? Like, y'all all right? Both of y'all can get up. You're all right. You knocked your head.
Good,
Yeah.
You know what? To piggyback off what you said, because I was trying to relate, and when I did, because I was trying to,
Yeah.
But when my father was not around, my biological father wasn't around. He was in and out of prison my whole life. So it was a void that was already filled to the point when he tried to come around. I didn't even have my son yet. It was like closed, closed door, no open sesame. It is what it is. So by the time I had my son, I wasn't really trying to
even
so
get anything.
So I wasn't really trying to feel it. Even I see a lot of women try to fill the void of they treat their son like they're their man because they're missing that compatibility. So they treat their son like that. Like it's hard for them. They son get a whole woman. They can't let them go because they ain't made their son a man. You know what I'm saying?
So it sounds like you took your youth and flipped it and making sure your son is going to be a great father when he gets older or a right man.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be a great daddy, yo. We ain't gonna force that on. He got about 30 years to go.
What about mom? What about mom and daughter relationships?
Ooh, I feel like that is
in the club together.
That's a whole episode we gotta dedicate to mama and daughter relationship.
My mama went to the club with me.
Mama was sitting down.
We're talking about me.
Mama went to the
club with me. 21. She was at Beamer's. We all was dressed up, and she was in a section because she felt like you're an adult. So
it was a birthday. It was celebration.
I think
Mama didn't just go
all
to the club on Friday, Saturday.
I think it's all how you do it. If your mama on the dance floor getting down with you and boogie on down, and everybody else, like it's on how you go about it.
I know
she
was in her section.
Yeah.
She was all by herself.
They be out with their kids like almost every other weekend.
They dressing each other.
I
They
can't
dressing
go
alike.
out with my mama because she don't care if I'm there or not. She gonna turn up, and I'll be like, people be looking. I'll be like, I'm just gonna go. I'll be in the back like.
I think honestly, I feel like there's a difference I feel like there's a difference between a young you partying with your mom and an older, mature you if you and your mama decide to go out. I think there's a difference. There's definitely a difference.
I turn on my auntie too.
But you respect the boundary of who they are and the parent. There's a difference versus you don't know if you... Are y'all sisters? Are y'all mama and daughter? Are y'all like who is y'all? Y'all thought together? Y'all getting
I had to. I was trying to figure out why my mama was trying to hang out with us all the time. Like, we trying to hang out with us, you know what I'm saying? But then I had to realize that she really based her whole life around us to the point where most of her friends weren't even around anymore. So now that I'm of age and she see me, she like, okay, well, I like how you carry on, I like how you doing. I'm gonna hang out with y'all. I'm like, all right,
come on, mama.
I'm like, y'all talking about come on. Y'all like, let your mama come. No,
let her come.
She cool. No.
Ain't nothing wrong with Mama Angie. Let her be.
Mama Angie?
Yeah.
Oh, I was somewhere.
I know. Ain't nothing wrong with her. Let her be.
But yeah, y'all make sure you tune in to the next episode after this. There's some topics that we're going to be piggybacking off of. This was Planned Parenthood episode
2. Yeah.
Next we got episode 3, Friend or Foe. Make sure y'all stay tuned. Check it out.
Bye, y'all.